connecting people and connecting strategy and people. So let us first define what strategy is. I'm sure everyone knows what strategy, but I got from Google. This strategy is defined as a plan of action or policy designed to achieve a major or overall aim. According to Webster, strategy is careful plan or method for achieving a particular goal, usually over a long period of time. According to Michael E. Porter, the essence of strategy is choosing what not to do. According to Kenichi Omei, what business strategy is all about, what distinguishes it from all other kinds of business planning is, in a word, competitive advantage. Without competitors, there would be no need for strategy. For the sole purpose of strategic planning, it is to enable the company to gain, or efficiently as possible, a sustainable edge over its competitors. So there are two keywords here. So as from Virginia, we define it in a word as strategy is a competitive advantage. My national sales manager further defined, or the purpose of strategy is basically to outwit competitors. So that's the reason why strategy exists, just to outwit competitors. Textbook definition of strategy. It has to be with this acronym SMART. It has to be specific. It has to be measurable, attainable, realistic, time-bound. In Virginia, we added two more letters. We made it smarter. We made it exciting. The strategy has to be exciting. And it has to be relevant. So nowadays, it's not just basically trying to be better than competitor, but trying to become relevant to the community. So what is people? So according to Google, people are defined as human beings in general or considered collectively. According to Webster, humans making up a group or assembly or linked by a common interest. Okay. This one is according to Anne Mulcahy. Employees are a company's greatest asset. They're your competitive advantage. You want to attract and retain the best, provide them with encouragement, stimulus, and make them feel that they are an integral part of the company's mission. Okay, I think everybody would agree to that. Then the ultimate question is, the chicken or the egg, which comes first? Or do you strategize, then you find the people to make your strategy work? Or should you find your people, create your team, then create the strategy around your people? So, I just like to make an example of the strategy over people. I'm fond of basketball, so I would like to state a specific team in basketball. The San Antonio Spurs. I don't know if you're familiar with the team. I believe that the San Antonio Spurs is a team that bases their, they have a strategy, then they create people around the strategy. So recently, they beat the Golden State Warriors. They beat them by 29 points. And the Golden State Warriors have superstars like Kevin Durant or Stephen Curry. So the coach, Greg Popovich, it's not about any one person. You've got to get over yourself and realize that it takes a group to get this thing done. So this guy is willing to even bench their best player if they do not execute the plan well. So this team, I believe, is a very clear example of strategy over people. So they have a system and they have perfect execution. People over strategy. The same in basketball. You choose the best player in the NBA, like LeBron James. LeBron James was, recruited by Cleveland, from Miami, then to Cleveland, to Miami, then to Cleveland. So you choose the best player in town, then build the strategy around him. So, still right, no? There are cases where in Virginia also applies this strategy. We get the people first, then build the strategy around the person. In Virginia, we term this as own the store. No? So we allow our people to basically own or put their personal stamp in what they do. So for example, if I have an account executive that is assigned in Osamis or Pagadian, I give them freedom to do whatever they want as long as they follow a certain budget. You know, we call it business development fund. So if you are within that budget, you can do whatever you like. You do promotions, cross promotions, you dress up the store, you do sampling, you know, anything that is exciting. Okay. This is a typical example. You see this particular store here, we dress it up. So we allow this kind of strategy. There is no handbook that everyone has to do it, but the person assigned to that territory has to create that excitement. He has to own that area. Okay, so so how do we choose our people? If people are really an integral part of this concept of strategy and people, how do we choose our people? So this is my opinion, and this is how I do it. The first criteria for me to choose the right person in my team is integrity. That's number one. So if you really get somebody with integrity, or in Bisaya you say kasaligan, trustworthy. If you get a person that is trustworthy, jackpot already. The second criteria is the person has to be hardworking. So if he has integrity, then hardworking, then that's a bonus already. In Bisaya, it's kugihan. So hardworking and passion, drive goes together. The third criteria, sobrang swerte ka na. It's like winning the lotto already. So you have a person that has integrity, hardworking, and winning the lotto. That person is actually smart. Tamao. You know, he knows how to get things done. So if you have all three, I feel that you're already very lucky. But I believe that the number one criteria really is integrity. What's the point of having somebody so smart and yet he cannot be trustworthy? So he'll just use his smarts to outsmart us. Now, why do you think that people are our best asset? If I may ask Bernard, IPP Bernard, why do you think that people are our best asset? So, what is the difference between machine and people? Diba? Kasi we always say that, Tito, you can't do it alone, okay? Sometimes we choose people, we get this guy because this guy is very productive, you know, he's very hardworking, diba? He works, he can finish a lot of things within a specific time, no? But if you really analyze the difference between machine and man, diba? Machine, they're very productive. In fact, we do a lot of mechanization already to replace man. So what is really the reason why people are our greatest asset?
Maybe awareness.
Awareness, okay. Resourcefulness, okay. The real advantage of man is really man's ability to think creatively. Because machines, they are not going to think outside the box. They are going to work within the bounds of the programmer's possibilities and probabilities. So it cannot think outside the box. So it's really because of man's creativity. So if we feel that our greatest asset are our people, it is because they are capable to think creatively. Actually, I included this because this is one of our Virginia's philosophy. No? There is this movie called Jerry Maguire, and there was, in the last part of the movie, he said, "You complete me." Diba? When you are courting somebody, you say, "You complete me," and then the girl, falls in love with you. But that is actually a fallacy. "You complete me" is actually a fallacy. When you get into a relationship, you are already complete. You cannot say that I'm half and you're half and we become whole. So, it's a fallacy. In the same way, in the company, we really tell people that you are a unique individual. So when you come to Virginia, you do not complete us or we complete you, but you form part of that bigger picture. Your individual's uniqueness will synergize with the uniqueness of our other team members in the company. So for our outlook in Virginia is that our core, how our business is run, is really based on our people. So that is our core foundation, our people. If you have the right people already, you start working with the system. You have to have a system. So the second part of the pyramid will be creating the system. Once you have the people, you have the system, then you apply technology. So I believe that these are the three foundation, then the system that we apply in Virginia. This graph I did myself, just to illustrate the three things, the people, then the system, then the technology. So if you look at this graph, this is the results. The horizontal side is bad people, then good people. So if you have bad people, so the results will be very low. If you have good people, then it goes up. But if you have a system in place, you will not start from zero. You will now start at a higher level, and it goes up as you have great people. If you have people, you have system, and at the same time you have technology, your starting point will be higher. So a clear example with Virginia is that, for example, our van selling operation. We do a lot of van selling operations. We have truck that goes around, visits sari-sari stores, small supermarkets, wholesalers. Once we have the team that goes around the area, we have to create a system. We have to map out the universe of accounts. We have to have a coverage plan. So we have to tell people that this is your routing A, routing B, routing C, so that they will not be jumping from one place to the other. So they will move efficiently. So we look at frequency of visits, we look at productive calls. Then now we are moving towards application of technology. So now we're giving our salesmen tablets wherein they can input the sales, and then the sales are immediately communicated to the head office. And we know real time where our people are going based on the clients that they visited and they transacted with. So there are technologies right now that you put a tracker to your trucks. But here we don't need to put a tracker. We just track their transactions, and basically we know the location of the salesman. So this is an example of applying technology to your system. This one is building a winning culture. So the culture, I feel, given that what differentiates us from machines is to think creatively, we have to try to create a culture that allows creativity. A culture that allows each individual to achieve their maximum potential. A culture that allows people to take reasonable risks. Actually, according to Confucius, our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising every time we fail. When you want to create a culture of creativity, you have to allow people to fail. You should not punish failure. Of course, what I mentioned in the earlier slide, it is reasonable risk. So we allow our people to share their ideas, implement their ideas based on a calculated risk. And if they fail, we don't punish them. We allow them to get to the next, propose another idea. But by punishing them with a failed idea, it will inhibit or it will restrict creativity. So creativity will always be related to or connected to failure. But it has to be calculated. Of course, if you calculate and it's 51% chance of failing, do not implement. But if there's at least 51 chance of succeeding, it might be a worthwhile endeavor. We would probably try out that idea. Actually, I'll skip this part. It's actually a movie that I saw with my kids, and it was very inspiring. I don't know if you watch it, Kung Fu Panda. And there was a scene in Kung Fu Panda 3 wherein the master allowed the Po, the panda, to take over to be the teacher. And when he was teaching, everything fell apart. No? And then the Shifu said, because the panda asked the Shifu that, have you heard that I failed? Yes, he said, I heard it from everybody. And then the panda said, if you know that I was going to fail, why did you allow me to fail? So the Shifu told him, if you only do what you can do, you'll never be more than you are now. Yeah. So very wise, no? From Disney. So what is the leadership role in the interplay between strategy and people? So back to the question, strategy or people? I believe that with effective leadership, there is that continuous, no beginning, no end with where it starts. No? There's no beginning, no end with the question. No? Strategy first and people. So leadership is important here. Leadership has to understand the person's uniqueness, allow the person to achieve its maximum potential, create that culture of foster that culture of creativity, and the leader has to unify these different individuals, unique individuals, moving towards one goal. So our definition, because there are a lot of leadership styles, but based on our definition of leadership, there are different. We only define it into 3 categories. The first one is leadership by fear. So I wouldn't say that this is not a good leadership style. I think it works also, depending on the situation. If the boat was sinking, I cannot ask the people anyone who want to volunteer to jump without the life vest. So probably the captain would say, oh, all the girls, ladies, you get a life vest, men, no life vest. So maybe this one works also in different situation. The second one is leadership by example. So this one, the leader has to be the first to do it, has to be able to show his people that it can be done. And our third is leadership by mentoring. For me, the third one, the leadership by mentoring, is the most difficult type of leadership style. I asked my team, and I said, which leadership style would be difficult for you? They said that, okay, maybe it's leadership by fear because it doesn't bode well with their style to be the bad guy. But I believe that leadership by mentoring is the most difficult. And if I have, let's say, 100 leaders in the room, I'd probably say that only 10 or less are using this type of leadership style. And then I realized last night when I was playing with my son, he's 2 years old, I realized that the reason why it's the most difficult leadership style is because man is by nature, not all probably, but by nature, they have the tendency to be selfish. So the tendency of man is that I don't want to teach because I don't want my pupil to be better than me, or I don't want him to know and later on I'll be irrelevant. So this leadership style is the most difficult because we have the tendency to be selfish. We have the tendency to be insecure that our pupils or the ones that are under us will become better than us and we become irrelevant. So in Virginia, we try as much as possible that our leadership style would be mentoring. We want that each individual that goes to our company will be able to really achieve their maximum potential. They will understand the bigger picture, work towards that bigger picture. Their uniqueness will really form part of the company's goal. So, strategy to us is defined as to nurture the best in our people, to create the competitive advantage. And with the changing times, your people will then create new strategies to outwit competition. So that is our belief. That's why it's a continuous loop or an infinite loop. Because sometimes when you start with a strategy and then you implement it in the market, and then your competitors started copying your strategy. then it is no longer a competitive advantage. So right there and then, your people have to change the strategy to fit with the changing times, to create new strategies. So you have to have that continuous loop. So actually, I would like to end my short talk with these words of wisdom from Sia Furler. Bernard. So this one, I messed up tonight. I lost another fight. I still mess up, but I'll just start again. I keep falling down. I keep on hitting the ground. I always get up now to see what's next. Birds don't just fly. They fall down and get up. Nobody learns without getting it wrong. I won't give up. No, I won't give in. Till I reach the end and I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. Actually, this is made popular by the pop star Shakira. This is actually a song from Zootopia, also from Disney. But basically, this explains that when we do things, you really have the possibility to fail, but you'll just have to try to get up and start again. Actually, the final was a song, but I'm sure that. So thank you. Any questions or any comments?